Jared and Katie in the morning on the number one hit music station, 107.5 KZL.
It is that very special time of the year, Jared and Katie's Breaking and Entering Christmas, where we are able to introduce you to a family who is going through a really rough time right here in the Triad. It doesn't get any easier year after year going through the nominations. And this year, thank you for your submissions. We did receive hundreds of submissions, and it's not easy. It's not an easy task. And we know that there's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of financial issues. There's a lot of emotional issues. There's a lot of health issues going on with families right here.
Yeah, I think a lot of us take, the good things that we have for granted. We're more concerned about, well, should I get an extra gift for Eli and Ava? They already have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different gifts.
When there are families who won't even have a gift this Christmas. So we have taken on the task of selecting one family for this year's Breaking and Entering Christmas, and we would like to introduce you to Jared and Katie's Breaking and Entering Christmas family now.
This is the nomination letter we received. Dear Jared and Katie in the morning. On February 27th of this year, my friend and I were at work when she received a dreaded phone call from her 7-year-old son saying, "Daddy quit breathing." My friend rushed home, called her neighbor to go help. And when she arrived, she found the EMS was performing CPR on her husband, her high school sweetheart. Her 2 boys witnessed their neighbor starting CPR on their dad until they were taken over to another home. That would be the last time these 2 young boys would see their father alive. Their father suffered a heart attack and died. He was only 34 years old. That day, my friend, a mother of 2 young boys, and 6 months pregnant with her 3rd, had her world turned upside down. My friend is a nurse and gives herself to others every single day. In June, she gave birth to a healthy, happy baby. The thought of that sweet child never knowing his father is devastating. The thought of these 3 boys who will not have their father to play catch with, to be there on their birthdays, when they graduate high school and college, not to have their father there when they get married or have children of their own, breaks my heart. This will be the first of many Christmases without their loving father, and the first for her without her high school sweetheart. This family is absolutely deserving of a wonderful Christmas every year, but especially this year. Thank you for your consideration. And we left the names out for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Wow. It was
34 years old.
Yeah. Especially touching to us this year. We all have families, and we can't imagine what that would be like. And even though Matt doesn't have children yet, it was especially touching for Matt because Matt lost his own father when he was 15 years old to a heart attack. Mm-hmm. And so you were moved by this.
I mean, I relate 100% with this. It's one of those things that, in the moment, I don't think you realize what it's going to do to you or how it's going to affect you because you're just in such shock. Mm-hmm. And then it just, over time, it just kind of, things happen, like in the letter they mentioned, like graduating high school and stuff. And it's like, oh, he didn't see that.
Right.
Graduating college, he didn't see that. Mm-hmm. I married Hannah, and she's never, ever going to have met or know or ever speak to my father, who had so much of an impact on me and who I am now, that it's just, sometimes it just hits you that, oh, I'm not going to have that male figure, especially for a guy who wants to get that advice from their dad, like, what's going on here? What is this? That just to not have that, it just, sometimes it just hits you and it just takes you back. And I just wish, that these kids just can have this over the top Christmas. It's not going to help in the long run, but maybe right now it'll get their mind off of what's going on, because the holidays, those first couple years, are just so difficult. Good stuff.
Yeah. And he was so young too, 34 years old, to have a heart attack, and then for the kids to witness that. with seeing their father in that type of position, I'm sure is very traumatic.
Mm-hmm. I think about the times when I was pregnant with my own children, and it never even crossed my mind that Ben wouldn't be there when I delivered.
Right.
It never even, it just was a given. He will be there on a day when it's filled with excitement, but it's also really scary. I mean, you can't take it for granted.
I can't imagine.
You hope and pray to God that it will be a happy and safe and quick delivery. But I can't imagine going through that without your partner.
And not just that he's not there that day, that he's
Right.
never going to be there,
Mm-hmm.
at least in this life.
Right.
So
And you want to, when you have a baby, you want it to be the happiest day
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
And it can be the happiest and saddest day because you know that your significant other is not there anymore and will never be there and never get the joy of this kid or the baby being born or seeing that and experiencing that with him and knowing that this baby will never know who his father is.
So we have contacted the person who sent us the nomination, and we had multiple for this family, and they are on board. They got us the wish list over the weekend. We go shopping tomorrow.
So everybody bring your shopping pants. I'm
Again,
ready.
This is the family who lost their dad, and she lost her husband. He's only 34. They have 3 boys. One was born after he died. So then Thursday morning, we will, starting right at 6 a.m., going throughout the morning, we will start the process of the breaking and entering, where the nominating family or the person who sent the nomination letter has agreed to get them out of the house, to have them be doing something, and then we can sneak in with our KZ elves and get in there and let them come home to an over-the-top Christmas.
We always feel like private detectives, at this point.
Right.
It's like asking a lot of questions that you wouldn't normally,
Right.
you wouldn't normally ask.
Right.
Like, if we were to come in, which door should we use?
Right.
It feels a little creepy, but it's
Do
not.
they have a Christmas
It's
tree?
right.
If not, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I was a little worried over the weekend about this because of Breakfast with Santa.
Yes.
That it was snowing way more than was called for.
Yeah, which is typically, it's the opposite normally.
Yeah, usually it was, we're not going to see. It was originally, we're not going to see anything on the roads, but you might see like a half an inch dusting on the grass.
Right. I think it was called the fun snow.
I think it
of
was.
some.
So I think it was.
And different parts of the area got different levels of snow. I know just based off of the Kernersville area and towards Winston, got a lot more than Greensboro, but it was still there in Greensboro too. So it made me worried, like, I hope they show up for Breakfast with Santa because this is the money that's going to be supplying for this family. And fortunately, all our AMLs came out, and we did not have any refunds the day of at all for Breakfast with Santa. So we got more money than we did in previous years because it sold out.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And now we can provide this over-the-top Christmas for this deserving family. And hopefully, I know it doesn't change their lives and make it all better.
Right.
But it's just a little something because, there's nothing that can make that better.
Yeah, we give them a bright moment and otherwise a very difficult circumstance. All right, and we'll keep you up to date as the week goes on. Again, Thursday morning, you don't want to miss it. Around 6 a.m. is when we start. They're on their way. And we try to be in the house and surprise the family around 7:35, between 7:30 and 8, but usually 7:35 is when we plan for the family to come into this big surprise over-the-top Christmas. Of course, give us a few minutes here or there just because of travel and things of that nature. But we can't wait to do it. We look forward to shopping with the Deuterman Law Group, who is our sponsor this year for Jared and Katie's Breaking and Entering Christmas. They're donating $500 on top of that as well. So we really, really appreciate all the efforts and the donations and everything. It really makes a huge, huge difference for this family.